I kind of thought about making this episode dedicated to Taylor Swift, but I think it would actually send me into a spiral if I talked about her for that long. And there's so much I could say about that woman that it just, one, could possibly never fit into an episode. And two, like I said, it would send me into an abyss because I love that woman so much. Because this is episode 13. Welcome back to another episode of Argue with the Wall. I'm holding a wine glass filled with water with a little lemon on it, with lemons in it, and my ice balls because I didn't have a wine opener, bottle cork screw opener. And so I thought it would be nice to have some wine while I talk about my turn-ons and my turn-offs. So, yeah, well, we're just gonna go with this today. Before I get started, I had to present something today, and I had to look nice and presentable, especially since it's for my one fashion luxury management class. And these balls bouncing around in here is gonna drive me insane. So hang on. Let me set it on the ground. I hope that doesn't spill over. If it does, I'm gonna lose my marbles. And so I had to look presentable today. And I wore some cream slacks. I wore basically, if you're watching, this outfit, but instead of it being comfy little PJ pants, it was trousers. And I wore heels. Now, I do a lot of walking when going between classes. I have classes back to back, 4 classes in a row. And I have to walk all the way across campus to get from whenever I first get on campus. I walk all the way across to the other side of campus, go to class, have to walk all the way back that same way, go to that class, then walk again, and then, which I don't have to walk too far, then I have a little break, then I have to walk again, and then I have to, and depending on how I'm getting home, I have to either walk 10 minutes, or if I get lucky, I get to walk like a minute. Today I only had to walk a minute, but let me tell you, I had to wait for that bus for fucking forever because the app is down, or whatever their reasoning is. So I had to sit outside. It's cold outside, by the way. My toes are out and they're burning. I already have little bubble blisters on the bottoms of my feet. Trigger warning, I'm about to show my feet, but I have a little band-aid on my pinky toes, and I needed one so bad on my big toe on my right foot, and Mom, if you're watching or listening, I'm really sorry, but I skipped class, my last class, because it was so painful that I couldn't bear the thought of, oh my God, my feet hurt just sitting here. It was bad. And I took a nap whenever I got home because it was just so emotionally challenging. And so I had to come home. I took a nap, and now here we are. I got a flash drive, so now maybe me editing this video and audio won't require me to delete over 10,000 files on my computer. Let me tell you bitches something. I hope you enjoy this video audio combo because I spent so long trying to get it to, one, not even like the actual editing purpose, but it was always like this destination has no storage. What do you mean it has no storage? My computer can hold so much. And then I was deleting a shit ton of stuff and it was still saying that. I had to download this MacBook file cleaner, and which probably put something on my computer, did the opposite, but So I'm thinking now maybe that I have a external flash drive. Things will save easier. Praying to God, actually. But nonetheless, I think it is time we talk about my turn on and turn offs. Now, if for whatever reason you don't understand what that means, one, oh, fuck. No. Okay. One, you shouldn't be listening to this podcast if you don't know what that means. So click off. And if you have a general idea, I am, 1 second. I had to make that bigger. And that's what he said. I'm going to be talking about things that guys do that are turn-ons and then that are also turn-offs. So I'm not really focusing on the physical aspect of guys because I have a pretty standard type. Slim, tall, little lanky. Looks like he's been held captive and starving for a couple months. Brown hair preferably. I enjoy a good curly head. Just slight curls, not like a tight knit, just like a little flow. Green or blue eyes. Yeah, that's pretty much all it does for me. Lately, me and my friend Kennedy have been realizing how easy men have it in the sense of like appearance wise. It doesn't take much. We went grocery shopping and to 2 different places, and I kept seeing men, just average Joes, but they had brown hair and were wearing a hat and had a mustache. Now, I could have described, you could take that and you could say, Lily, you just described my 64-year-old dad. And I'd say, possibly. But I'm talking like 22-year-old guy here. Now, that's what does it for me. All you have to do is have like semi-decent hair. Don't have a buzz cut. Whatever you fucking do not have a buzz cut. Do you ever want to get laid? If not, yeah, sure, get a buzz cut. But if you are trying to get some action, let that fucking hair grow. For fuck's sake. So I'm saying, guys, just don't cut your hair for a little bit. Keep it tameable. You know, wear clothes that resemble that you got it from a thrift store if you didn't actually. Wear a hat. Grow a stash. If you can't, they sell fake ones on Amazon. And what else? I don't know. I think that's pretty much it. Wear Reebok sneakers. Yeah, that'll do it for me. I just described my ex, by the way. Anyways, so I'm going to start with the turn-offs. Let me grab my water wine. Oh, that's so good. Lemon water just feels like I'm putting gas in the tank. Feels real good. All right. Number 1 on my list, picky eaters. If you're a guy and you're a picky eater, you are immediately exiled from my life. I don't want anywhere near you. I don't want to look at you. I don't want anything to do with you. Because picky eaters just in general, like guys and girls, it's like, what are you doing? I'm about to take these balls out of here. Whatever. It just doesn't make sense. How are you going to sit there and look me in the eyes as a over 21-year-old man, boy, and say, no, I don't like vegetables. What do you mean you don't like vegetables? No, I'm kind of just more like a chicken fingers and fries kind of guy, like a hamburger. Okay, but what about the rest of the food groups? What about, spice up your burger? Put some avocado on there, some sautéed onions. God damn it, arugula. You can make it fun. You don't need to just have a piece of fake cheese on it. If you're gonna do that, at least have it be a fun piece of cheese, like Gouda. No, I just like American cheese. What do you mean you just like American cheese? What are we doing? Like, it is just so painful to have a conversation with someone who's a picky eater, specifically a white average looking man. It is quite jarring whenever you come across a man that on paper you're like, holy shit, that man is just stunning. And then you get to know him, and then they're like, yeah, I just kind of eat Chick-fil-A every day. I'm like, I know your cum tastes bad, first of all. And second of all, you're not going anywhere in life if you're only eating fast food or you're only eating the same 3 meals. What do you... What? I've had conversations with guys that say that, by the way. I'm not making this up. This is all... I have figured out these turn-ons and turn-offs from experience. So, just putting that one out there. Next. Well, before I move on, I do want to say that picky eaters also goes hand in hand with men who have peanut allergies. I know that's not them choosing that lifestyle, but it's still, you guys know how I feel about peanut allergy having people. Don't want to deal with it. So, I just had to put that in there. Men that are bad at conversing, having like if they're a bad conversationalist, that is an immediate, like, it just feels like you're just, I don't even know the right words for it. You're like poking a dead bear. Did I just mix up a couple different idioms? I don't know, but I do know that men already don't have a lot going for them, especially specifically at this age, in this age group that I'm unfortunately a part of. The best way to not die alone is to be able to have a good conversation with someone. Being able to converse, have a good banter. Whatever happened to like a guy knowing how to talk instead of just say the most cringy things on the planet? Like, oh yeah, that's so lit. Like, can you just talk like you were like talking to your aunt or something? Why do you have to talk like that? Is that how you talk to your family at home? I have so many questions. Thinks being an asshole is funny. Major turnoff. Some guys are, I don't know what happened, but some of them just were told that being a raging asshole is funny in a sense of humor, like making fun of people who, I don't know, are different. That's a thing. I've witnessed it. I can't make it up. I have witnessed guys like think that it is peak comedy to just hash on the worst of the worst. Like some men think that it's okay to like being fat phobic is funny, or being racist is funny. Like they think that's peak comedy. Who's gonna tell him? Because I know they're not gonna listen to me. Who's gonna tell him that that's not funny? And it's, oh, you're so sensitive, blah, 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 blah. No, I'm not. I just have morals and respect for other people. So, not much else to say there. That kind of goes along with my other one. The obvious turnoffs being homophobic and a misogynist and racist, etc. You know, those are immediate. You're already ugly. You were an 8 and now you're a negative 27. So, I'm going to start getting a little bit more niche with these turnoffs. If a guy likes Pokemon right now at this age, that's a turnoff. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry because this is a personal preference thing, but if you like Pokemon, I'm going to need you to take a couple steps back. A story just popped up in my head. Actually, this has nothing to do with Pokemon, but this guy just looked like he would have liked Pokemon or like had little action figures in his room. I was at a bar a couple weeks ago and he had come up to me and I was sitting at a bar. I was sitting like at the bar. My friends I could see them, but they were all like in a corner and I was waiting to get a drink. And he comes next to me, like real close next to me, and he's like just talking to me, like all up in my grill. One, I already don't find him attractive, and two, now that he's acting like that, I'm like, okay, now you're really ugly, and this is a huge turn off. You're invading my fucking privacy and personal space. Obviously, I'm not. Like, guys that can't get a hint, like, take a hint, like, also a turn off. And so I'm, like, sitting there at the bar, and I'm, like, looking at the one bartender, and I'm, like, making, like, wide eyes, and I'm, like, what? Like, looking over. And I kept looking over my friends. No one was looking over. I needed help so bad. So bad. I was not reciprocating this man's energy. And so long story short, my friend Zoe comes and she's like, hey, come to the bathroom with me. And I'm like, thank you, Jesus Christ. And I then maybe like a week later, I'm at the same bar because I go to the same bar all the time, and he's there again. And I think he might have either just one, not cared, or two, been too drunk to remember my face. But he comes up to my friend next to me and starts hitting on her. And I'm like, no. You do this. You are the most pathetic piece of skin I've ever seen in my entire life. And I'm standing right here and you're just like, I was like, no, he hit on me last week. You're not. And he was like, not very polite. So, adios, amigo. I said, get out of here. That night, we also convinced a guy that my one friend, Olivia, her cousin is a famous baseball player. Like, fully convinced this man. So, I highly recommend to all my ladies, just lie to men. If you don't see it going anywhere, like if they're just, especially if they're like being annoying, just talk out of your ass. Nothing's stopping you. You don't owe them anything. Another one, these next couple ones, I'm sure you probably should have gotten, you should know this by now, so I won't elaborate too much. I've talked about these before. Well, not really this one, but is a Republican. Anytime I'm on Hinge and it says like conservative, immediate swipe right. Some people care if, they have different opposing views. But at the end of the day, personally, I believe that if you are a Republican, your views are not going to align with mine, which is going to make our lives very difficult. Especially since I'm very stubborn and opinionated. So clearly I'm fucking opinionated. I made a goddamn podcast just talking about my opinions. In a frat, I just had an episode come out about fraternities and sororities. You guys should know this. I hate them. So if he's in a frat, immediate turn off, run away. That should just be a red flag. That's just a danger zone. If he has a kid, definitely a turn off. There are a couple guys I've seen on Hinge that they have kids. And I'm like, I'm glad you didn't keep it from me, but I also wish you didn't tell me. So, because I don't want to be a mom. I don't really want to be a mom. Not now. Probably not ever. If he calls his mom mommy, that... Do I need to explain myself? Especially if he says mommy and daddy. Jail. Fuck. I almost tried to drink my microphone. Goddamn. If he has an oddly close relationship with his twin sister and calls his mom mommy and or calls his dad daddy, you need to get out of there. There's probably some weird stuff going on. And I'm not talking like they're like him and his sister are just close. I'm talking like you get the vibe that they would or have already made out or thought about making out with each other or worse. Like there's something about that aspect weird. And I'm not saying all, what is it, maternal twins? Fraternal twins? My dad is a fraternal twin. He doesn't give me that vibe. And so it's possible, but there are some guys out there that just really love their sisters, and it is weird as fuck. If they don't like Taylor Swift, that is an immediate turnoff for me. And it goes deeper than it's just like her music, because I think there was such a long period of time where it was cool to hate Taylor Swift. And I just feel like if a guy hates Taylor Swift, it's rooted in misogyny, and I'll die on the hill for that. So if a guy is, it's one thing if they're like, I just don't really listen to her, like, it's just not the kind of music that I listen to. That's fine. That's like, okay. But I'm talking like guys who are like, oh yeah, she only writes about her exes and she's a psychotic serial dater and she like blah, blah, like just completely slut shaming her. Why? That is just like an immediate turn off, even not even just like someone I'm visually attracted to or want to have a relationship with. That's just like just friends. Like, why would I want to have misogynistic friends? Do you want to have misogynistic friends, guys? I'd hope not. So if your guy friend specifically, or a guy you're talking to, doesn't like Taylor Swift, there's probably something deeper going on in there, in that little pea brain that they have. So I love her so much. I have so much respect for her that it's just, I can't fathom not liking her. I think people just need to give her a chance, because especially those who only really know her mainstream stuff, like, the public doesn't know about Cowboy Like Me. And that song means everything to me. That is my favorite song of all time. It's like analyzing the lyrics. Ivy? Let's talk about that song and its lyrics. Tolerate It? I just don't think men get it. I don't think men understand, the Taylor Swift to Phoebe Bridgers to whoever pipeline. I just don't think they get it. And that's okay. Men can't understand everything. They can't understand most things, especially whenever it comes to women. Lastly, for a turnoff, if his name's Kenny, I can't do it. That's my dad's name. And no place on earth could ever be okay for me to be in a relationship with a man and be intimate with a man whose name is Kenny, or just even Ken, or Kenneth. That I don't know how some people do it. I know that some girls will have boyfriends or be with people who have the same name as their brother and their dad. That even like my uncle, I feel like that's like, if I'm close with my uncle, that's I'm still not gonna be able to do it. It's like that's all I'm gonna be able to think about whenever we're getting in the sheets. I don't want to think about any family member whenever I'm naked and probably afraid. All right, on to turn-ons. So something a little bit more positive. I'm trying to. No one's told me that I've been really negative, but whenever I'm like editing it and listening back to these episodes, I feel like I'm very negative. So I'm gonna talk about good things that I like, and if a guy does this, I'm probably gonna fall in love with him. Number 1, reads books. If a man reads books, and like all kinds of books, that's gonna do it for me. That will do it for me, and that's that. I love reading books. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think, 6, 7 stacks of books throughout my apartment, and just in my living room, actually. I might have more in my bedroom, and I also have more at my childhood home. And so, like, the dream is to just like spend a Sunday with a guy that I am in love with and just read. That would be, I feel like that's asking for too much, honestly. I feel like all of my turn-ons are just like 1 in a million men on this planet, so. And I refuse to lower my standards. I refuse to lower these things that make me more attracted to men, because I know there's probably one out here that checks all these boxes. There has to be. Number 2, illiterate. Yeah, I love a nice illiterate man. That would be every man in this fucking world. I meant to say is literate. So literate in the actual literary aspect, politically literate, economically, environmentally, the so on and so forth. Like, if a man cares about the environment, are you joking? Like, I haven't met one yet, but there has to be some out there. Teddy Roosevelt cared about the environment, so I know that he can't be the only one. Where's his grandson? Great grandson. Great. Teddy Roosevelt's 4th great grandson, hit me up, please. Oh, you know what? I'll talk about that at the end. If a man likes New Girl, that's already, like, that is my favorite show of all time. If a man likes New Girl, 1, he already has similar taste in humor as me. And he also just gets me. Like, that show is half of my personality. The rest of it's just a makeup of everyone else. So if a man likes New Girl, we're already 50% there of getting along with each other. Oh no, my lemon. Oh shit. Sorry if this is... Okay. Well, okay. We're just gonna stick that in there. I got 2 little balls. 2 little ice balls in my wine glass. This feels really fitting. Yeah, that show, if you guys have never watched it, please do. If you care about my well-being at all, please watch New Girl. It's just, it's always playing in my apartment. Always. And it's just, oh, god damn, it's so good. It's just, it feels like a nice hug from my mom. Or when it's storming outside and then the sun comes out and immediately just warms your body and you no longer feel freezing and sad. It's just happiness on a screen. It's so good. Like I was mentioning earlier, this goes along with it, hand in hand. If a guy likes Taylor Swift, yeah, there's one man that I know that I've met so far in my 22 years of living that like loved Taylor Swift. Had a shirt with her face on it and everything. Like actually loved Taylor Swift. And I fear that I will never meet another man like that again. Just in that aspect. He was okay. But I'm talking like, I fear that I'm never going to meet a man who loves Taylor Swift. I feel like that was a once in a lifetime thing. And it just sucks that he was average. No offense. Not that he's fucking listening. So like I was saying, whenever guys who don't like Taylor, it feels very like, I feel like you got some deep-rooted misogyny there, buddy. There's something going on there. And here's the thing. Here's the difference. Guys who say they hate Taylor Swift because they don't like her music, that is an invalid argument because she is not just her music. You can respect her, you know, her success and her hard work and all that she's accomplished and her as a businesswoman and her impact on the music industry. And she's done a lot for the LGBTQ community, like, and also women who have experienced sexual assault. She's done so much more than just write breakup songs. And I feel like a lot of guys overlook that, and even just everyone in general. So I feel like whenever people say they hate her because they don't like her music, that feels like a very, very invalid argument, at least for me. Because it's like, okay, you can like not like her music, but that doesn't mean you need to hate her. It just doesn't make any sense. Turn on if they grew up with having older sisters or just sisters in general. This typically is also a green flag because their sisters are gonna, like, his sisters are going to, I don't want to say train him because he's not a dog, but if he has sisters, he probably is more likely to respect women, which in turn sometimes can mean that I'll be a good boyfriend. Now, I want to place a huge emphasis on sometimes. You could have a guy that has 2 moms, a gay mom and a stepmom. Doesn't always mean that they're not going to break your heart. So take that with a grain of salt. But yeah, scurrying right along. Turn on if he would let me paint his nails for fun. So if a guy, this basically goes hand in hand with like being comfortable in his masculinity. Like that's a huge turn on because it's like they don't care about the societal standards of what a man should be because it's toxic. And quote unquote what a man should be is not valid. That's not, like, who the fuck wrote that book? Men, actually. There's toxic masculinity because men wrote the book for it, just like misogyny and the female gaze, male gaze. It's all written by them. So we didn't ask for it. They're like, oh, well, why can't I cry? Why is it this? Because you guys created this society where you all told each other that you had to be tough and not cry. Don't yell at us. We feed you from our nipples and wipe your ass whenever you're a child screaming and crying. So, I mean, we're not out here trying to tell you what you can and can't do. We don't care. You're the one who define what makes a quote unquote man. So yeah, if he lets me paint his nails, that makes me really happy. You don't need to wear them out. Like if you I understand if you don't want to wear the nail polish out. Like I'm not like that's I don't get it, but like I get it, you know. So I don't know. I like doing nails. I do my own nails, and I think it's fun. I think it's a bonding experience. Jesus, stop yelling at me. If he has a plant or many plants, or wants a plant but thinks he can't take care of it, that is a go ahead for me. Because there's something, or oh my god, I didn't even have this written down and I didn't even think about it. Guys who have cats, that'll do it for me. Because let me explain. A guy who has plants and or a cat, it means that they have to take care of something. And for plants, it means that you have to be resilient and you have to be able to problem solve and figure out what's going on with my plant. You got to take care of it. You got to talk to it, especially if it's kind of a harder plant to take care of. If it's an easy one, that's fine too. Now for cat dads, cats are sick bastards in the best way possible. They're moody. They are selfish. They can be just the meanest things on the planet, but they can also be the best. And people who like cats and have a cat probably understand that sometimes in life we're going to be a little pissed off, but that doesn't mean we don't love you. That's the whole premise of a cat. Cats do their own thing and they do what they want and you just like accept it. So if a guy has that, he's going to be it's like when guys date me, it's like dating a cat, cuz sometimes I'm going to be just probably a emotional raging bitch, but then 10 minutes later I'm going to want to knock it off of your lap. And then I'm also going to not stop talking. So I'm like an orange cat. Dating me is like hanging out with an orange cat. You're going to need to give it a lot of attention, a lot of food, but it's also still a cat, so it's going to be moody. And you're going to have to tread carefully. So any suitable men out there, just know that if you hate orange cats, you're going to hate me. All right. Last up, we have names. I mentioned earlier about turnoffs and the name being Kenny because that's my dad's name. But if your name's Henry, that'll do it. I don't know a Henry. I also don't know a Harry. I also think the name Harrison, like those names, whatever genre of names that is, that'll do it for me. You could be a 3 and have those names and easily bump up to a 6. Then if you put in the standard recipe for my type, brown hair, tall, light eyes, bumping up 2 more points. And then if you like New Girl, you're 10 out of 10 in my book. They have it so easy. All you have to do is like things that I like, and then physically, and obviously be respectful, obviously, but physically, that's not really, you know, a huge importance for me. If you like all of these things, it's going to make you more attractive. Have you ever heard of personality over physicality? I feel like that's not actually a saying, but you guys know what I'm saying. Green flag names going along with that, like I said, Henry, Will, Winston, Harry, Pat, because it's such a bad name that it just humbles them right from the start. And I know a lot of good Pats. Patrick, I know a Patty, but her full name's Patricia. I worked with her at Home Depot. She's great. I really liked her. Great woman. But for guys, Pat's usually, it's not the greatest name, but it is typically a green flag name. Also, Liam, I feel like, is a pretty good name, a green flag name, but not Liam Payne. He's not included in this. That man is a menace to society, just the worst of the worst. If you know, you know, and if you don't, just Google Liam Payne drama and you'll really just understand what I'm saying. This is what I want to talk about: red flag names, or names that also turn me off. Names that I typically hear and run away in the opposite direction. First up, Sam. Don't know any good Sams. Number 2, Jackson. For obvious reasons. Samuel Jackson. Terrible person. He's also he's dead, but if you know, you know. Samuel Jackson, get him out of here. I also feel like Andrew's not a really great name. I don't know many good Andrews. Andrew Jackson, also horrible. For all my history buffs out there, you guys know what I'm talking about. David, red flag name. John, but only spelled Jon. The other Johns are fine. The Jon spelling of John is no bueno. Jon Snow from Game of Thrones is not included in this. I just want to make that known. I love that man. What else? Luke feels like a pretty dangerous name. Screaming red flags. Aaron, but Aaron, not the Erin. The Aarons are safe. Those are typically women, I feel like, though. But the Aarons, get out of here. I don't want you anywhere near me. All J names. I'm trying to think of like a good male J name that I know personally that I haven't wanted to, one, kill myself over or kill him over. And I'm drawing a blank. Derek. I don't know any good Dereks, but I also don't know any bad Dereks. But like, I just feel like Derek's I did know one good Derek, but besides him, Derek's not doing it for me. And Alex. I know one Alex, one of which is my cousin. He's a good guy. But besides that, that feels very stay away. Caution tape all around those names. Put them up, put them in a box, lock it, ship it down to the Marianas Trench, and keep those men away from me. Watch me marry a guy. Watch me marry a man that has one of these names. We're going to look back and we're going to laugh, guys. And then lastly, I already mentioned this, but I want to reiterate it. Turn-ons, because I didn't really go like turn-offs physically really that much, except for like buzz cuts. But turn on, brown hair, green eyes, and above 6 foot. Again, they have it easy, and just those 3 things, really, along with a couple more turn-ons. Just like have those requirements. Read a book every few months. At least act like you're interested in New Girl. Let me listen to Taylor Swift and pretend you like it. And we're going to get along really, really great. I don't require much, but that is enough for me. So that concludes today's episode. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. I hope you enjoyed it. You can follow the pod on Instagram at Argue with the Wall, but the with is a W. You can also follow it wherever you're streaming this right now. And if you're watching, subscribe to the YouTube channel. It comes out the same time the episode does, every Tuesday, typically, if I don't fall into any rabbit holes of technical issues. It comes out at like 9 a.m. Eastern time. So, yeah. Thanks again for listening, and I will talk to you guys next week.